Boston Bruins Hockey on NESN is brought to you by Ace Ticket, by Dunkin' Donuts, America runs on Dunkin', and by Toyota's official website for deals, buyatoyota.com. Well, no one ever should take for granted the remarkable run of success by the Boston Bruins. This is sellout number 234 in a row for the black and gold at TD Garden, with the return of Patrice Bergeron and Milan Lucic, each after one-game absences. Two anthems tonight.
Oh, Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love in all of thy sons' command. With glowing heart we see thee rise, the true north, strong and free. From far and wide, oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God keep our land glorious and free. Oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave? Oh, the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Special feeling in the building as the Bruins try to put together their best back-to-back efforts of the season. Starting goalies brought to you by your New England Audi dealers. Experience the new Audi A3 with legendary Audi Quattro all-wheel drive today. Jonathan Bernier's missed a couple of games with flu-like symptoms, but his last start, a 43-save shutout of Tyler Seguin and the Dallas Stars. Tuukka Rask has owned the Maple Leafs, although he has had one shaky appearance against them this season. He's got a .937 lifetime save percentage against the team that drafted him. Claude Julien looking for one challenge at a time. Andy Carlisle's Toronto Maple Leafs have sort of made a habit out of trading chance for chance and goal for goal. Toronto and its opponents have the most goals scored of any team in the National Hockey League per game. The game is on. The Bruins, when they can press the Toronto defense, have from time to time gotten the Leafs to run around a little bit, and here's an icing just 8 seconds into the game.
Riley Smith before the game talking with Guerin said Get the puck in deep, get it behind this defense, and put pressure on them. And they don't like to spend time in their own zone. They like to fly the zone, sometimes take shortcuts into the center ice area. If you own center ice and establish a forechecking game, it goes a long way to putting 2 points on the board.
Jonathan Bernier getting a fresh water bottle. Well, you can understand how tired he is after 8 seconds of hockey.
He was playing with the water bottle on his stick when they dropped the puck to start the game. You know, aren't the refs supposed to go point at one goal, point at the other, and then drop the puck? I guess not. That must be archaic.
Yeah, that's old school.
And they may have done that, but Bernier was just kind of taking his time.
Bergeron wins the faceoff, flicks it deep. Marchand goes to work right in front. Riley Smith with a bid. Bergeron rings the post on the glove side. James Van Riemsdyk up to the red line, sails it cross corner. Chara looks over his shoulder and sees Bozak there. Hamilton takes the hit from Van Riemsdyk to let the puck run to Smith. It's off Bergeron's skate out to center. Morgan Riley gives to Roman Polak. He goes back D-to-D.
A phrase we used again in that Detroit game most of the night was around the puck, around the net. That's the way the Bruins start this game. Good pressure by Marchand, good follow-up pressure by Smith. And Bergeron finds open space in the slot.
And it started by getting the puck in deep, and there's where Louis Eriksson goes with it. Kelly to Soderberg, the shot into Bozak's legs. The Bruins going right to the house and making bids against Jonathan Bernier's goal. Soderberg A-framing against Morgan Riley along the boards, tries to dig it out of Riley's skates, but Riley wins the puck battle. Bozak in front of his own goal. Kelly disrupts. Seidenberg's shot deflects off Soderberg. Kelly's no angle off the apron of the goal, and Bernier pins it in there. The Bees buzzing around the Toronto net.
Yeah, Kelly tried to bang that in off Bernier, short side. Again, more pressure, but it starts with the Bergeron line. Right off the face-off, pursue the puck, protect it along the wall, put it in an area where you have a chance to get it back, preferably below the goal line. Bergeron able to get it in an area. Marchand finds it. Here comes the support from Smith. They create that triangle, and Bergeron cheats to one side. It shortens up the passing route, and it gives you an angle to the net.
Krejci and Kadri on the faceoff. Lucic in the shooter's position. Krejci wins it, and it bounces all the way over to Chara. Chara softly forward. Seth Griffith takes the hit, moves it around against Corbinian Holzer. Holzer gets some help from Kadri, who goes down after contact with Krejci. Chara keeps the puck on the line and then feathers it back to the neutral zone. It'll be offside. Leafs have lost 2 in a row. Bruins have won 3 straight at home. Toronto allows the second most shots on goal per game of any team in the NHL. 34.5. Only the Buffalo Sabres allow more pressure on their goal. Lucic off the boards, but Kadri intercepts. Now here comes Phil Kessel working it into the Boston zone. Daniel Winnick's shot off a stick goes over Rask. Kadri on the far side. Krejci puts the body on him. Lucic up but not out. Cody Franzen couldn't keep it on the line. Tonight's key matchup brought to you by Honda. Start something special with a great deal on a Honda. Phil Kessel, 2 goals against the Bruins. The last meeting of the 2 teams. A game the Bruins would just as soon forget. A 6-1 loss against the Leafs in Toronto. Well, Phil Kessel can shoot the puck, and if he gets the room and the opportunity, he's going to finish it. The Bruins have had success against some of the best sharpshooters in the National Hockey League by limiting their space and shutting down their opportunities before they get to the house. Miller off the boards. Komarov, who returns after missing 14 games with a concussion sustained on the next to last day of November in a game against Washington. Going to work on the end boards, chips it over to Peter Holland, the ex-Anaheim Duck against Campbell. Here's Mike Santorelli. Santorelli back to Holland. Holland turns off the half boards and cycles it behind Santorelli. Crew good body position, rattles it off Santorelli's skates. Paille off Campbell's initial effort, chops it off the boards and out.
Yeah, pretty good layers right there. Campbell's in one-on-one coverage with Holland. Holland thought he had a lane on a cut in around the bottom of that, top of that circle, and Paille got a stick in there.
Riley, an excellent skater, sprints into space, carries into the Boston zone, and Toronto goes to work in the Bruins end of the ice. Santorelli missed stick handles. Marchand pivots off with David Booth. Here comes Bergeron, but the Bruins are in the middle of a change. Bergeron delays and waits for help. Polak tries to mug Bergeron to the boards. Polak takes Bergeron down. Puck's underneath. Riley Smith digs it free. Finds Marchand coming high. Slides it over off the board. Seidenberg's drive. Stick save Bernier. Hot carom off the end boards. Clarkson sidesteps the Bergeron hit. Marchand comes in as the second bumper. Clarkson tries to muscle it up the boards. Bergeron to Seidenberg. Bartkowski off a Booth stick, and it trickles in deep. Or leap. It's not a leap here. Now here's Seidenberg. Wrist shot. Crazy lob bounce, and it drops between the knees of Jonathan Bernier.
Wow, what a strong shift again by the Bergeron line. It started in the neutral zone. Bergeron protect the puck well. Gets knocked down, caved in on top of the puck. The support came over. Marchand and Smith, they win the battle. They use the points. They get the puck deep. You try to beat your man one-on-one. That puck wouldn't stay with Marchand, but then he tried to find Smith rotating the slot. The puck works its way back to Seidenberg. And then the Bruins are trying to get to the front of the net. All good habits.
Shots on goal 3-0, and pressure even more one-sided than that. Jake Gardiner trying to turn away, and Kelly caves him in. Puck free off Ericsson's forehand. Bozak comes over, takes a big hit from Kelly. That separates him from the puck. Gardiner tries to spin through the corner. Eriksson with pressure there. Now Holzer over to Gardiner. He brings it up the boards. Van Riemsdyk can't clear the zone. Corbinian Holzer far side, tries the long diagonal, goes over everybody. One hops for Van Riemsdyk. Drops it off for Bozak. Bozak twists and falls over Bartkowski. He takes the free leg and kicks it forward off the outside of the blade. Good move by Bartkowski to get the puck to space. Krejci sky high, drops for Eriksson. He's got Kelly middle, fires it off the left shoulder of Bernier, and it clips off of that shoulder into the protective netting.
How creative was that?
Yeah.
David Krejci steps on the ice. He's replacing Carl Soderberg. He has to wait till Soderberg gets inside that doorway before he makes a play on this puck. He knows he's by himself. He could hammer that puck deep, but that's just giving possession away. Most players would just hammer that puck, get it over the red line and fire it in, but not Krejci. He goes with that high lob and allows Eriksson to find some open space, a possession play.
Makes the players around him better. Phaneuf on the slow turnaround the goal. Winnick wing to Lupul, working Charaside in front for Kadri, but Hamilton's right on him. Kadri comes off the half boards, leg saved by Rask. Kadri a shot with purpose, getting it low to the far side. Winnick's shot deflects and rattles all the way back to Franzen. He chips it in deep and rides hard for Kadri. Kadri off the boards, back to Phaneuf, facing Marchand. Into the corner, Chara stabs it, it pops up in the air. Hamilton takes the hit to move the puck to Lucic. Lupul closes down his space. Lucic bounces it cross ice. Griffith scrapes it out through center. Franzen ahead for Winnick. He gives it back to Phaneuf. Cody Franzen backpedals behind his own goal and looks to regroup. Peter Holland swings right.
Yeah, pretty good push. Good shift by Toronto. Answering shift.
Holland kicks to the stick, moves around. Cunningham in the neutral zone looks for a timing play for Kessel on the weak side. Cunningham takes a big hit from Komarov to get the puck out to center, and the Leafs throw it right in deep again. Hitting is Komarov's game. Sometimes on the edge and sometimes a little bit past it. It's not necessarily a bad thing if you're wearing the same color sweater. Holland works it into the Boston zone, chips it past Miller. Krug feels the pressure coming, but sends it around the boards to Paille. Komarov hits Paille. Campbell can't get it out of the zone. Kessel's shot, and a nice save by Rask, getting the right leg out. Morgan Riley for Kessel on the move, a little bit off balance, gets it back, comes around the zone. Kessel on a tour of the attacking end, goes back of the goal, finds Riley. Riley cross ice, Polak's drive, saved by Rask. Krug off a helmet and then trickles it up but not out. Polak with some zone time mounting for Toronto. The pass into the middle. Riley can't keep possession. Clarkson, fresh off the bench, wants the quick regroup and the quick re-entry. Booth. Miller takes it away. Bartkowski reverses. Riley Smith waits for the puck. Booth pressures. Smith pivots nicely through. Marchand kills it for Bartkowski. Trevor Smith coming flying through to make contact with Bartkowski. 13.5 to go in the opening period. Phil Kessel and the Leafs starting to find their stride against the Bruins.
Bruins mascot Blades and the Bruins Ice Girls hosted the 3rd annual New Year's Eve party at the Floating Hospital for Children at Tufts Medical Center. The party had games, craft activities, a face painter, festive accessories, and a ball drop at noon with a ginger ale toast. Freyhofers provided baked goods as well as a few iPads so kids could play games from their hospital beds.
It's great stuff. The Bruins always involved in the community. Bruins very involved in the Toronto zone to begin the game. A 42-second entry and a 59-second entry in the first 4 minutes. But in the last 2.5 minutes, 2 30-second plus zone time entries for Toronto in Boston's end of the ice. So this is about the time that the Bruins need to string together a good couple of concentrated shifts.
You know, I thought you'd be at that party today. You like to get it going around noontime, don't you?
Yeah, that's me. Party animal. There's the attacking zone time. The Bruins still with about a half-minute advantage, but it's been one then the other in this game.
And what an opportunity, too, for Boston. You know, you're playing a team that's just 2 points ahead of you in the standings, divisional game. They beat you 6-1 last time, 3 power play goals out of those 6. And you don't like the Leafs.
Marchand zipping it to Bartkowski. The tip in front with both Smith and Bergeron there, and Bergeron on the doorstep tip. Smith's drive and a save by Bernier. Lupul unopposed on the rebound, draws it away from Smith. Pulls her out through the neutral zone. Bozak can't pick it up. Rask steers it out past Smith and into the neutral zone.
Yeah, there's that fly the zone, and it's coming from the weak side. Bozak up ice, comes from that right wing position, tries to get in behind Bartkowski.
Jake Gardner casually out of his own zone. Turns it laterally for Kessel. Stick handles around Lucic. Saw he was going to run out of space against Griffith. Chara takes it. Now Hamilton around the boards past Griffith. No icing here, and the puck drifts back down into the Toronto zone. Lucic on the forecheck, lining up Franzen, bumps him, gets him off his skates, and the forecheck goes to work. Lucic takes the hit from Phaneuf, but the Leafs get it forward to Kessel on the counter. Winnick chops the puck past Dougie Hamilton. Hamilton turns his goal, carries it on the backhand, runs out of spaces. Franzen sealing off the wall. Franzen kicks it past Kessel, and Chara says, how'd he do? And knocks him flat. Winnick carries on the backhand. Turns it off the boards to Phaneuf. He wrists it off the legs of Dougie Hamilton. Kadri goes down as he gets contact from Hamilton from behind, and the Bruins will be shorthanded. 8:13 into the first period.
Well, I saw the signal by the referee, and I wasn't sure quite what it was. I guess they're going to call it a cross check, and here we go again, Jack. That's a little push from behind, and Kadri just loses his balance. Tough call against Boston. Hamilton goes for the cross check. Early power play for the Leafs.
Toronto with 6 power play goals in its last 9 games. And the Leafs are one of those teams that is pretty good 5-on-5, but really good on special teams. Patrice Bergeron available once again to the Bruins. Dion Phaneuf winds it out of his own end. Marchand confronts him. Van Riemsdyk throws the puck forward to the Boston goal line. Chara nudges it around to Bergeron. He flicks the backhand, and it bounces all the way through the neutral zone. Louis Eriksson and Chris Kelly, the new penalty-killing forwards out there. Kevin Miller keeps his edge in a good collision with Van Riemsdyk. Phaneuf carries it off the boards. He's got Kessel on the left side. Franzen to Phaneuf. It bounces, he controls. Franzen holds, low for Van Riemsdyk through the legs across the crease. Kessel turns off the half boards, the shot. He loves getting that little opening and snapping off the shot, and Rask getting a piece of it off the webbing.
And the battle between Chara and Van Riemsdyk continues. They're going to call them both. Nice little flop by 21 and White in that one-on-one battle. He was looking to get just the minor penalty on Chara, but they will take them both to the box. Then Riemsdyk really tries to hang around the front of the net. Good sized guy, but you're not going to win that battle with Chara. Chara roughs him up with a good punch to the head. The one-on-one battle continues, and they both go to the box.
Toronto has a 4-on-3 goal this season. The Bruins do not. Neither team has allowed one. Remains 5-on-4 with the coincidental minor penalties. Bartkowski spraying the backhand all the way down. 3/4 of a minute to go in Hamilton's penalty. They call him roughing each. Hard to imagine how Van Riemsdyk was roughing Chara, but here's Lupul walking in, the shot saved, Rask, rebound, Riley, and a save by Rask. Kadri to Lupul. Rask reaches up and makes a glove stop on the backhand. Tuukka Rask has raised it a notch the last couple of games.
Well, the second save in this sequence is the best. Lupul's going to let a good shot go from outside the tops of the circle. He's able to get that, and the rebounds below the dot on the glove side, and he's got to react quickly. Good push right to left. Gets the arm extended, the left pad extended, the body across. And then he's able to pick that loose puck out of the air and get an important face-off, slow things down, and settle it down.
Komarov tries to bull Bergeron off the dot, and the Bruins take possession. Krug almost scaling it over Franzen, and Marchand was available in the neutral zone.
And a heads-up play by Bergeron not to go to the neutral zone himself. Stayed behind and then forced the turnover by Franzen to get that puck back into center ice.
2 shots on goal during the unsuccessful power play for Toronto. Centering pass, Komarov scores! The Bruins give one up in the vulnerable minute as Peter Holland wins a puck on the end boards, and the Leafs, who largely depend on scoring the first goal, being the 6th most sensitive team to scoring first or allowing first, get first blood.
Now watch this puck. It's just going to have eyes in 2 instances. Krug doesn't get a lot on the backhand, but it doesn't get to Miller, and then it comes through Krug to Komarov, wide open in the high slot. That comes through Bergeron and Krug before Marchand can get his stick in there. That puck had eyes for Toronto, and they capitalize. You get an opportunity like that from that area with some puck luck, bury it, and Komarov does.
15-3 when scoring first. The Leafs, when allowing the first goal, are 5-11-3. It's about a 500-point spread. It's about a 330-point spread on average in the NHL. 9.5 to go, first period on New Year's Eve. Zdeno Chara says Happy New Year to Phil Kessel. Bring it in.
The score, Leafs on top, the result of a pretty good forecheck right after the power play. Bruins do a decent job on the penalty kill, and Krug's going to get to this loose puck. He wants to go D to D or even bypass the D, but Holland right here, the second man on the forecheck, he's going to slide right in here, get inside position, and by doing that, that allows Komarov to be the third man, get into that slot area. It's a good read-react by Holland. Saw that the pass wasn't going to go hard around. It wasn't going to get to Miller with a lot on it, so he stepped inside. And then that puck somehow got through Krug in his stick position, Bergeron in his stick position, to Komarov in the slot.
Peter Holland, middle of the first round, number 15 picked by the Anaheim Ducks in 2009. Morgan Riley takes a hit from Soderberg to bounce it over to Polak. He takes a big bump from Kelly, but the Leafs clear the zone. Winnick on his horse against Hamilton. No icing here. Hamilton ties up Winnick. Eriksson goes in to try to take the puck away. Up the boards, Eriksson has it come off his skates. Winnick flicks to the far side. Seidenberg and Eriksson both there. Kelly has it poked away by Holzer. Now Kessel on the weak side wing working against Hamilton. Now draws Eriksson, gives it over to Holzer. The wrist shot and a save by Tuukka Rask. Toronto withstood an early 4-minute storm from Boston and has come right back.
Ever wonder what goes on behind closed doors with the Bruins? Catch the latest behind-the-scenes Bruins action as the season continues on Episode 7 of Behind the B, presented by Alex and Ani. This Monday night at 8 right here on NESN.
Rick, is it as simple as making plays and getting the puck deep in the Toronto zone?
Yeah, and handling the forecheck a little bit better. You know, when Toronto started to tilt the ice, and this was before the power play opportunity, Bruins had a chance to break the puck out, and it was that Campbell-Paille combination. They didn't get the job done. It's about puck management and not allowing it seemed like Toronto spent a lot of time in your end.
Clarkson A-framing against Miller. Now Booth works it through the corner against Krug. Booth flips it back to the corner. Clarkson wants to cycle there. He loves that game. Campbell takes a swat at the puck, tries to pin in Clarkson, stabs at it. Booth gets it loose. Back to Clarkson along the wall. Trevor Smith, who's a bundle of energy, cycles it to Clarkson. This is exactly what Toronto wants to do. Cycle the puck. Now here's Gardner with space out top. The wrist shot, and Rask makes a save as Booth was struggling in the confrontation to try to make the deflection. Franzen along the line to Gardner. The Leafs have the rhythm going. Miller picks it up on the backhand, goes indirect to Lucic. Lucic chips it cross ice. Krejci catches it in the air and knocks it down with the forehand. Now pursues against Franzen as the change is in behind him. Trevor Smith gets it wide. Lupul cross ice, the pass behind Winnick. Lucic barrels down the wing. Lucic in front looking for Krejci, but Lupul picks off the pass. Lupul skates it into the Boston zone. Kadri across the front. It goes through Bergeron's skates. Bartkowski throws Winnick off balance, and here comes Bergeron blowing up through the middle of the ice to Marchand. Bergeron, the shift against Phaneuf, gets clipped down in the corner. Must have been a bad skating move by Bergeron because Phaneuf certainly couldn't have tripped him. Phaneuf on the backhand, turns it forehand, and snaps it over to Winnick. Winnick in front of his own goal. Chips past Marchand, bounces it out to center. The Bruins one and done a couple of times after good zone time by Toronto.
Well, the benefit of a little stick work by Phaneuf. Otherwise, Bergeron's going to get some separation in that one-on-one coverage. He had that little hesitation move, and at first glance looked like it was an opportunity for a power play.
Morgan Rielly softly ahead into a space for Holland. Santorelli, dangerous pass. Campbell gets a stick on it. Riley Smith pries it back to Campbell, and Holzer green lights Campbell. Campbell takes a number. And Holzer gives him a chop across the ankles. Morgan Rielly feeds Holzer. He runs into trouble from Paille in the neutral zone. It bounces through Holland's legs. He gets a second chance. Now Cunningham steals from Santorelli. Nudges back to Krug. D to Hamilton. Komarov puts a hit on him. Krug angles off Santorelli. Lupul in the neutral zone, wrists it around through both corners. Holland at the hash marks. Can't get it past Krug at the Zamboni doors. Hamilton takes a hit from Lupul to move the puck to Soderberg. Soderberg holds off Kessel, but the puck comes loose. Kessel in front. Gardner wheels, fires it wide. Kessel tries to go backhand, forehand, but Soderberg blocks that. Soderberg off Kessel's stick. Referee gets in the way as Bozak and Krug go into the corner. Lupul angles in front. It hits Hamilton. The pass intended across the crease for Kessel, who would have had an easy tuck.
Just a flat-out bad shift. The Bruins were inviting turnovers, almost unforced. Hamilton, delayed decision, doesn't move the puck quick enough. There's a turnover, then he passes it to nobody in the neutral zone. Toronto comes right back into the offensive end. Soderberg has a chance to make a play behind the net. There's a turnover. Got to manage the puck better than that.
Clarkson cross ice. Smith chops it forward. Rask over to Seidenberg off the end boards. Miller takes a hit from Smith, who goes down on the rebound off the body. Soderberg cross ice. Seidenberg chips it in deep. Kelly going in behind Franzen. Kelly comes all the way past the half boards. Tries to cycle it. Phaneuf holding off Eriksson before the puck got there. Booth can't clear the zone. Hamilton's wrist shot and a leg save by Bernier with Eriksson jamming in front. Kelly's shot goes into Trevor Smith's legs. Now it's Hamilton working it all the way back toward the blue line. Off the glass. Franzen golfs it around. Clarkson holds against Kelly's hit. maneuvers around but gives the puck away to Bartkowski. Scoops it off of Clarkson. Now Eriksson trying to flatten the puck to stick handle in traffic. Couldn't get it through Phaneuf. Phaneuf off the corner boards. Franzen has a little bit of space. Up ahead to Smith. Smith short of the red line. Dumps it softly off the boards. Toronto changes out. About 4 minutes to go in the opening period. Bruins trying to grind some momentum out of this. Holzer picks off Krug's dubious pass. Winnick in front looking for Holzer, and Krug goes slamming into the end boards. Krejci stick handles to get the puck to Bartkowski. He bounces it into the right wing corner. Gardner turning with Griffith coming late. Gardner wheels around and gives to Holzer. Holzer up to Kadri. Kadri goes past Lupul and gains the Boston line. Throws it in front off Winnick and in. No goal. They're going to say he kicked it in. The call on the ice is no goal. They'll review it. And if they rule that it wasn't actually an intentional kicking motion, then it will count as a goal.
Well, too many times here in the first period, especially after the first 5 minutes, the Bruins have invited Toronto in their own zone. They've backed off that blue line. They've given them the outside. The back pressure isn't quite where it needs to be if you're going to back off that blue line. Bruins against Detroit try to really be aggressive in the neutral zone and not give up that blue line. Kadri takes it to the outside. He's just trying to get a shot on goal. It's going to deflect off the skate of Miller. And then the right skate of Winnick as he goes on that net drive against Seidenberg. Is that right skate distinct kicking motion, certainly in the eyes of the official, to say, no, we're not going to count this. That was a distinct right skate kick that directed the puck into the goal.
You know, the unofficial rule of thumb, and it is not even an official guideline, but we're sort of figuring it out on the fly, is if the skate blade loses contact with the ice, if it comes up and safety becomes even part of the discussion, it usually gets disallowed. As Brick has said, you don't want players flailing away, kicking skate blades in the air around other players.
Yeah, I mean, the only possibility was that
confirmed the puck was put in with a distinct kicking motion, no goal.
Lego on the official ruling.
Yeah, maybe if he kicks that puck and it doesn't go into the goal, or it goes off Seidenberg, let's say, but definitely a distinct kicking motion. Good call, right on top of it too, at ice level. That's what you like to see, decisive. I had a good look at it and then confirm it. Bruins catch a break.
Well, they started like a house of fire. Bergeron hitting a post in the first couple of minutes of this game. And lots of pressure in the Toronto end. But the Leafs can skate. They bring a tenacity, and they are willing to trade chance for chance. They have found an attacking rhythm, and the Bruins need to do something to tilt the ice the other way. Bartkowski stabbing at the puck against Santorelli, and Bergeron comes out of the pile with it. The pass behind Smith. He gathers it off the boards. Riley puts the body on him. Marchand with a stop-start, but Polak's not buying that. The puck into the middle, and Santorelli gathers it up and stick handles right into Bergeron, who puts the body on him.
Yeah, and Bergeron and Bernier collided just before that.
Bartkowski fakes the shot, tries to get it deep, but can't. Komarov in a battle against Riley Smith. Santorelli takes it in traffic and goes right through a seam. Now gives to Morgan Riley over the line. Santorelli alone in front, but Seidenberg blocks the puck before it gets there. Campbell up past his own blue line to Lucic. He gets the puck in deep, and Campbell pursues against Riley. Holland comes over to help out. Lucic chops it forward. Riley brings it back the other way. Kessel back to Riley to Van Riemsdyk. High defensive slot, and Toronto manages to clear the puck. Lucic on Holland. The puck rattles around. Krejci shoves it over to Hamilton. He backs in with Kessel nearby. Feathers it forward to Krejci with Griffith going to the right side of the net. Krejci circles, closes, and can't bring it under the crossbar. Magnificent move by Krejci. Hamilton cross ice, but Kessel read it all the way. He's going to win the race and get in alone past Chara. And Rask makes the save. Chara will be, this will be assessed as a penalty shot, as Chara was bothering Kessel enough to deny him an opportunity.
Pretty good opportunity to not be denied an opportunity. I mean, he gets separation from Chara after the hook. Tuukka Rask is forced to make an unbelievable stop. Bad decision, Dougie Hamilton. He had a short pass available to him to Lucic. He's trying to go across the ice to Chara. Kessel's in a perfect position to make the steal, and now we got the penalty shot.
Phil Kessel has 17 goals on the season. Walks in on Rask, and he misses it wide on the backhand side.
Good patience by Tuukka Rask. He's been beaten once here in the first period on a goal by Komarov, and you're under 3 minutes to go in the first period. Toronto, good front runners, and a chance with their best goal scorer on a penalty shot after he just had a breakaway. And Rask not only stops a breakaway, but he has great patience, good use of the stick, and denies Kessel. Bruins very important juncture right here, Jack. There are a number of them throughout the course of a game, but they're in one right now. Down 1-0, 2:09 to go. They need to finish this period right.
Kelly and Kadri tie up. Soderberg bursts into the circle and wins the puck. Takes it right over the spoke B. Holzer pokes it away. Lupul to Holzer. He's got space through the right side of the neutral zone. Chips it into the corner. Bartkowski plays the body. Winnick and Soderberg down there. Soderberg wins that puck battle. Skates straight ahead. Softly off the boards. Holzer takes possession back for Toronto. Brings it left side for Gardner. Swings it back to his defensive pair. Holzer to Gardner again. Gardner skates into the seam. Zips the pass under Lupul's forehand. He chips it cross corner. Winnick down to the half boards. Taps to the corner. Gives to Kadri back of the goal. Bartkowski throws Kadri into the boards. Slow to get up. Winnick in the corner. Winnick hard off Holzer's skates. Now Lupul down the boards, but Bartkowski takes it. Rattles around in Soderberg's skates. The Bruins having a heck of a time getting the puck out of their own end. Soderberg going to work, trying to stab it away from Winnick, and now it's Holzer getting it in deep. Toronto changes out. Rask feeds Kelly. The Bruins get fresh legs on the ice as well. Here's Bergeron over the line. The shot just wide on the stick side. Bergeron using good deception and trying to wrong foot Bernier.
Yeah, what a nice decision, too, by Kelly to delay in the neutral zone, allow the change to happen, and a neat little drop pass.
Final 45 seconds of the opening period. The Bruins down a goal to Toronto. Bergeron over the line, bounces it forward, and Polak caves in. Marchand, that's interference with 40 seconds to go. Bruins will be on the power play when the game resumes. It's still 1-0 because Tuukka Rask won this against Kessel.
Toronto defenseman Roman Polak going to go for an interference call. This puck never gets to Brad Marchand, even though that was the intended receiver on that little flip pass by Bergeron. And then that body contact on Marchand from behind sends the Toronto defenseman to the penalty box. Late power play chance for Boston. This power play is brought to you by Arbella. Here for Bruins fans, here for good.
Bruins 3 for 9 on the power play in their last 4 games. 1 for 4 on the power play in game 1 of the season series, which Boston won. And at home, down by 1 on the power play this season. The Bruins are 2 for 6, but this pass does not connect out of the defensive zone. Final 20 seconds of the period here. Bergeron wins the puck away from Winnick. Eriksson to Soderberg in front. Bergeron can't flatten the puck. 10 seconds to go in the period. Komarov can't clear. Soderberg's got to hurry. 5 seconds. The shot deflects, bounces. Bergeron chops it right next to the post and out. And the siren sounds to end the first. The Bruins with a flurry of chances right around Bernier's goal at the siren.
Well, the period started strong and it finished strong. The Bruins will have a power play to start period number 2, but in between some lack of execution, particularly on their breakout, and it cost them 1 goal in that period, nearly 2 with a breakaway by Kessel. A couple of big stops by Tuukka Rask.
Dale, the Leafs are a pretty good front runner, but they are known for trading chance against chance, usually high-scoring games.
And I thought Brick hit the net.
Boston Bruins Hockey on NESN is brought to you by Amica Insurance, now with new lower auto insurance rates for Massachusetts drivers. By Subaru of New England. And by Verizon Fios, making life more entertaining with America's fastest, most reliable internet. That's powerful. Happy New Year, everybody. Alongside Andy Brickley with Garrett Austin at Ice Level and our NESN production crew, I'm Jack Edwards. We're coming your way live from TD Garden in Boston. The Toronto Maple Leafs easily could have a fatter lead than just 1-0, but the Bruins played well early, played well late, and will start the second period on a power play. Leo Komarov, the only goal that has counted so far tonight. The road ahead brought to you by Sullivan Tire and Auto Service. Visit sullivantire.com/road ahead. The Bruins will have New Year's Day and Friday off. A matinee against Ottawa on Saturday, and then after the game flying off to Carolina. A Wednesday NBC game at Pittsburgh before the second half of the back-to-backers against New Jersey. And then a matinee at Philadelphia on Saturday, the 10th of January, 2015. Cannot mention it enough that if things fall exactly in place, the Rangers currently lead Florida 3-1. But if Florida were to win that game in overtime or in a shootout, and the Bruins were to beat Toronto in regulation, you'd have 4 teams trying for 2 wild card spots, all of which had 43 points. That's the tightness and the importance of every moment, of every shift for the Boston Bruins. And they get some urgency right off the bat here.
And the league loves it, doesn't it?
Oh, nothing better than on New Year's Day with the Winter Classic coming up, Chicago and the Washington Caps. Game summary brought to you by your New England Chevy dealers. Riley Smith, Dougie Hamilton. Here's Patrice Bergeron working against Winnick, who plays more shorthanded time on ice per game than any forward in the NHL. Riley Smith's drive through Soderberg. He scores! Carl Soderberg doing exactly what they asked, and there was no way that Bernier had a good view of that. It trickles through, and it's tied 17 seconds into the second on a power play goal.
And enough board battle in order to get possession of the puck on the power play in the offensive zone. It happens on those right-wing boards in the offensive end by Boston. Bergeron stops on the puck. Ericsson's there to help out. And when Toronto floods the zone, you can see 3 Maple Leafs from the face-off dot over to the boards. They're trying to flood that zone in order to get possession. That opens up a ton of ice. Hamilton able to find Riley Smith, and Riley Smith, Jack, with his head up, he's looking for Soderberg. And Soderberg's trying to screen, take away Bernier's eyes, and look for a redirect, maybe a second chance opportunity. And he gets that second chance opportunity in behind the Toronto goaltender to tie the hockey game.
Marchand, jitterbug work out of the corner. Corbinian Holzer off the end boards. Jake Gardner sends it up the wall. Kessel can't get it past Charles. Charles holds against Bozak, goes low for Smith, can't dangle around Gardner, brings it back. Kessel knocks it past Char, and he's off to the races again. He's got Van Riemsdyk middle. Van Riemsdyk scores! 2 goals in the first 48 seconds of the second period, and Toronto quickly answers just 31 seconds after Soderberg's power play goal.
Well, the decision for Dougie Hamilton after the puck gets chipped by Char, trying to stand in the offensive blue line when Kessel's able to get it behind him and then take off. Hamilton's trying to decide, do I go and pressure Kessel right away? When he decides not to, that allows Kessel to have open ice, time and space, and then he zips it right onto Hamilton to a streaking Van Riemsdyk, who's out in front of Bergeron.
Now, a couple of times, Kessel's been able to take advantage of the speed mismatch against a still recovering Zdeno Chara. Even when Chara's been 100%, there are few who can match Kessel's speed, and if he gets any defenseman on the turn, he's going to be able to get by him. So a smart move by Kessel to make the self pass and jump around, and Van Riemsdyk with that net drive. So Toronto neutralizes the crowd, which was so stoked. Here goes Kelly. Workman like winning it away from Winnick. Off the corner boards, and the puck caroms over the spoke beam. Bartkowski wrists it off glass. Franzen knocks it down.
You know, just to finish that thought on what Dougie Hamilton's thinking there, Jack, you know, can I go squeeze the ice and angle him off the boards and make Kessel have to make a play right away? Maybe even close on him, disrupt it, deflect the pass, get to that puck first. But Hamilton decides, if I back off, play center field, maybe Bergeron has time to catch Van Riemsdyk, and now that 2-on-1 disappears.
Lucic and Polak hip to hip. Seidenberg hard off the boards. Griffith catches it on the forehand, zips it wing to wing to Bartkowski, and now Lucic trickles it in deep. Morgan Riley slides it through the corner but gives it away to Miller. Miller closes all the way past the hash marks to the corner. Turns to the backhand against Riley. Now touches back to Krug. Krug's wrist shot off Komarov in front, and he trickles it over to Santorelli. Riley indirect for Holland, but he can't control the hot puck, and Krug goes D-to-D to Miller. Torrey Krug, a little bit of space, leads out Lucic. No icing here. Bernier mishandles it. Krejci picks it up on the way through. Krejci comes around high slot. The wrist shot off Polak's legs. The defenseman carries it out past his own blue line. Krejci back playing center field, deflects it away from David Booth. Santorelli, who had a 3-point game against the Bruins, a career high when he was with a Vancouver Canucks team a couple of years ago. Krug off the sideboards. Clarkson takes it, closes, and handcuffs Rask up around the collarbone. Lucic, the dart, trying to get it off the end boards, and Rask just wants to calm things down. He grabs it out of the air.
Yeah, let's go back to that goal by Van Riemsdyk and a nice pass by Kessel. There's Hamilton right there, and that's the decision he needs to make. Can I get in here and disrupt this play, or do I need to go back in here and play it as a 2-on-1? It's a difficult decision, and it's one you got to live with once you make it. And Kessel makes a terrific pass to Van Riemsdyk. They're a real strong combination, those two guys, and they've been doing it for a number of years together in Toronto. And they combine to reestablish the lead for the Leafs.
Booth against Pye. Pye runs into Holzer. Cunningham working against Trevor Smith. Smith holds his edges. Sends it around the board. Seidenberg pitches down. Campbell unloads against Gardner. Good physical tempo on this shift by both teams. Trevor Smith to the near side. Corbinian Holzer holds it. Cunningham stabs it loose. Gardner will try the other side. Right up the middle. Slipping it through to Smith. The puck bounces behind Clarkson. Bartkowski plays the body. Rask out to Campbell on the turn, but Smith closes down his space. Seidenberg indirect for Pye. Redirects it in deep, and the Bruins change out. Gardner, home run pass for Clarkson. High slot, curls, and leaves the puck behind. 2-on-2. Phaneuf jumps off the bench in the middle of a change. Smith to Marchand in front, looking for Bergeron, but Clarkson on the back check kept Bergeron from having a comfortable tuck. Franzen off the boards. Bozak tries to go forehand, backhand. Marchand blocks it. Bergeron takes possession. Bergeron from the red line cranks it off the corner boards.
Well, not a good decision by Clarkson, Jack, to not get a shot away in that situation. Curl and drag, drifts to the middle, allows for the Bruins to create the turnover.
Kessel to Van Riemsdyk to Bozak, the backhander wide. Soderberg into Smith's skates. As Marchand, now Soderberg driving the net. The shot goes wide. Soderberg, a good forehand fake, goes backhand, and Kessel was off him for a moment. Soderberg takes the hit from Kessel, throws it right in front, but only Phaneuf is there. Stick pressure from Kelly. Bozak carries it over the spoke beam, gives to Van Riemsdyk. He spoons it to the corner, and Toronto changes out.
Eriksson was going behind the net when Soderberg tried to get some separation from Kessel, looking for a possession play down deep. Soderberg tried to make a play to the front of the net.
Seidenberg to Kelly, making himself available. Eriksson gets knocked down on Polak's hit at the red line. Riley off the skates of Kadri. Kadri runs into Eriksson, but manages to get the puck to Lupul. Lupul in trouble against Krejci, has to retreat into his own zone. Polak goes D-to-D to Riley. Riley finds skating space, accelerates over the center dot into the Boston zone. The shot off Seidenberg's stick, up and out of play.
The all-new Pro Shop, powered by Reebok, is where you'll find the largest selection of officially licensed Bruins and Celtics apparel. Free parking is available with purchase during non-event times in the North Station Garage, located directly below TV Garden. For hours and more information, visit bostonbruins.com/Pro Shop.
Soderberg from Smith and Hamilton on the power play at 17 seconds of the second period, but Van Riemsdyk puts Toronto back on top just 31 seconds later, and it's 2-1 Leafs. Krejci wins the faceoff against Winnick. Holzer pinches down. Lucic gets the puck out of the Boston zone, but Gardner has it back for Toronto. Angled pass. Krejci intercepts against Kadri. Now it's Griffith for Lucic, but he can't get the puck through as Holzer was on Lucic's stick. Krejci takes a big hit from Winnick at the line. Lucic goes down in a tangle with Lupul. Lupul trickles it ahead. Now Krug goes D-to-D. Seidenberg tries the right side. Griffith closes to the hash marks, spins to the backhand against Gardner, finds Krug cross ice. The wrist shot goes off of Winnick, bounces down. Krug to Griffith. Griffith trying to pirouette, and Gardner shuts off the route down the boards. Lucic and Holzer lock up. The puck slides past, and Kadri has it. The Bruins will change out.
Yeah, Milan Lucic wanted some kind of penalty on Toronto, Jack, when he was off that weak side post.
Winnick pirouettes, throws it cross ice, and Rask gets a piece of it near the far side post. Santorelli's shot off the logo on Tuukka Rask's chest. 6.5 gone in the second period. Toronto has not trailed tonight. The Force trivia question: which Maple Leafs player played in the 2010 Winter Classic in Boston? Visit NESN.com/TheFours for the answer. Enter to win a $50 gift certificate that can be used at the Fours Restaurant and Sports Bar in Boston, Quincy, or Norwell.
Well, this is the play we were talking about, Jack. After the steal by Krejci, he works that puck down. Griffith's looking for Lucic on that weak side, and you can see that the stick work by Holzer is right into the hands and arms of Milan Lucic off that far post, but not worthy of a penalty call, apparently, and Bruins still trail 2-1.
Holland wins the faceoff back to Phaneuf. The wrist shot. Rask makes the save right off the ice with the catching glove. Well, Dion Phaneuf was off to a bit of a dicey start, and whenever Toronto loses 3 in a row, everybody's job is in danger, and the captain usually gets traded out of town. But from all reports of those who were at the games, Phaneuf has stabilized his season, playing a little bit more conservatively. And the Leafs have done a lot better. They're in the playoff structure right now.
And pretty consistently on the left side, too, as a defenseman. They played a lot of right in years past, but they got a little bit more balance, left-right balance now in Toronto.
Bartkowski buries Booth. Phaneuf fakes the shot and elects to go into the corner. Hamilton trickles it through to Bartkowski. Bartkowski rolls the puck to Paille, reverses, and Hamilton's got to take a couple of quick strides. Trevor Smith with the hit. And Cunningham gets it out of the zone thanks to Campbell's effort. Cunningham spreads it wide. The drive into Bernier's gut. He'll take the face-off in the Toronto end of the ice. But when the fourth line, Campbell's line, is out there, that's an important change of venue to get the puck from the Boston end to finish the shift in the attacking end and finish their job cleanly.
Well, Paille reverses the puck, and Hamilton has to chase it down in the corner, and Campbell knows the pressure's coming from that left point on the pinch down the wall, and Cunningham has to be there for support. They were able to execute all of that, get the puck into the neutral zone, get your legs moving. Bartkowski activated. He was coming, trying to make it a 4-on-3, but Cunningham went for the shot from outside the circles.
Bruins are 6-1-1 in their last 8 games against the Leafs here at TD Garden, but most of them have been struggles. Here's Komarov. The self-pass goes up the wall. Krug keeps him wide, and the puck tumbles to the end boards. Santorelli in a battle there. Seidenberg trying to throw bodies aside, but Komarov comes out of the corner with the puck. Back to Polak. The wrist shot goes wide on the stick side of Rask. Santorelli takes the hit from Krug to let the puck keep sliding. Komarov unloads on Seidenberg, but he gets the puck out of the zone. Well, Komarov may be coming back from a concussion, but there's no hesitancy on his part. He is really tossing the meat around tonight. Eriksson on a bouncing puck in front of the Boston bench. Komarov with a quick couple of steps. Eriksson back in the seam, intercepts, but the pass comes all the way back into the corner. Krug trying to staple in Holland. Kelly, the short pass underneath the backhand of Soderberg. Soderberg shields from Riley, now gets it back at the red line. Kessel steals from Krug, walks in, and Rask robs him. Tuukka Rask with a giant save as Phil Kessel had a point-blank chance. Roman Polak in the neutral zone. The Bruins need to make that pay off for them. Tuukka Rask has denied Phil Kessel on a penalty shot. Now he's denied him on a short breakaway in alone from the hash marks.
Well, this pair on D, Krug and Seidenberg, started with a bad pinch by Seidenberg, similar to the Chara pinch when Kessel set up Van Riemsdyk.
Van Riemsdyk, the power move off Bergeron's stick, and Rask makes the adjustment as Van Riemsdyk slams into the end board.
And then the Bruins try a possession play where Soderberg's just trying to get it back to Krug to sort things out. But this puck's on edge and it just explodes past Krug, and now here comes Kessel with speed. What an opportunistic play, and it seems to happen a lot when Kessel's on the ice. He's just one of those guys that's around the puck. He gets chances. The slightest little fumble when you're in a vulnerable position, he takes advantage of it. A gifted goal scorer, but third time tonight, maybe the fourth, that Rask has stopped him.
Well, he can put the puck in the back of the net with the very elite.
And that's essentially 3 breakaways for him.
Yep. Kadri's shot. Now Phaneuf jumps down, and Cowboys back up on the bench so as not to get the too many men on the ice penalty. Kadri stick handling. Griffith can't get to the puck as Kadri shields it, but Holzer has to race back into his own zone. Taps over to the captain, Phaneuf, up the boards, and Toronto's got re-entry quickly. Miller down into the corner. A spectacular twisting fall as Kadri tried to get around him. And an interference call here. It seemed that Kadri's move was purely elective as Miller was facing the puck and had his back to Kadri. Kadri goes over Miller's legs, and Miller goes for interference.
Now, Kadri's the one that drew the penalty on Hamilton for the cross-check back in the first period. And I guess the official felt that Miller stuck his leg out or stopped with his hip and made contact in a one-on-one battle. So he's going to go for he's going to go for an interference call.
Yeah, you can see the argument.
Yep.
You can see the argument.
Obviously, the crowd didn't like it, but the interference to Miller, 2-1 lead for the Leafs. Bruins need a big penalty kill here about halfway through the hockey game.
Leafs have scored 27 power play goals, tied for 4th most productive power play in the league. The official rankings are based on percentage, but since they don't count percentage, but rather goals on the scoreboard, sometimes it's a more accurate observation. Kessel on the half boards, back to Phaneuf, down to Kessel, playing catch with the captain, over to Franzen. Franzen, one of the power play assist leaders for Toronto. Franzen holds over to Phaneuf against Marchand. Here's Kessel closing the shot, scores! Phil Kessel with a dart underneath the glove of Tuukka Rask. The 500th point of Phil Kessel's career and a 2-goal lead for Toronto.
Well, you keep getting good looks and you're a gifted goal scorer. You're going to score eventually, and he's going to capitalize on the power play. Is Kessel. Bruins trying to have that body position, stick position. But Kessel just attacks from the half wall. He gets inside the dot. And that quick release, and if you watch his reaction, he doesn't even know this puck goes in. It's a delayed reaction. He's shooting through a screen, a bit of a screen. Right through Seidenberg and underneath the glove of Tuukka Rask on the far side. Uphill battle for Boston now, down by a pair.
Things started well, but after a couple of minutes of pressure in the Toronto end, the Bruins have not been able to sustain it against a resilient Maple Leafs effort. Here's Soderberg to the dot, carrying around Bernier's goal. The pass into Bartkowski, skates at the dot. Toronto tries to counter and floods the neutral zone with players. Komarov's pass comes off a skate, and Eriksson has a 2-on-1 with Kelly against Polak, but has to hold up. The drive goes well wide on the stick side and comes all the way to Soderberg at the Boston line. Krug to Hamilton. Komarov steals, slings it off the corner boards. Rask knocks it down, can't nudge it through to Soderberg. Santorelli back in the Boston goal. Hamilton slips on the turn. Krug up the boards for Soderberg. He draws it away from Holzer. Gardner has plenty of space. Gives it up the left side. Kadri right back on the ice. Gives it outside the zone, and the Leafs have to regroup. Gardner holds and draws Soderberg up the boards. Here comes Kadri down the slot. The backhander and a blocker saved by Rask. Winnick sending Kadri in, and the Bruins allowing the Leafs all kinds of space in the Boston zone. Here's Kadri spinning. He gives to Gardner. The shot gets blocked back to Holzer, but it's all Toronto possession. The Leafs winning virtually every race to the puck. Gardner in a lot of space. The wrist shot off a body in front. Kadri's backhand off the strings wide of the post. Hamilton goes after the puck against Winnick. Winnick wins the puck, gives to Kadri across the crease, hits a skate, and comes back toward the post. I think it hit Hamilton's skate before Rask can dive on it. Out Krejci, and here comes Lucic, and the linesman intervenes. Krejci tied up with Holzer, and Lucic going over there to play policeman.
Well, Holzer was taking liberties with Griffith. Krejci tried to get in there, and then Lucic certainly made his way in.
11.5 to go in the 11.5 gone in the second, and the Bruins in a tough spot.
The exciting rewind is brought to you by Berkshire Bank, where no two customers are alike. We're going to roll it back to the Carl Soderberg goal on the power play to start the second period. Bruins are able to gain entry into the zone, and when Toronto tries to flood the one side, it's going to open up the wide side of the ice. Good pass by Hamilton to his partner, Riley Smith. Smith's taking a look, and Soderberg's getting to the front of the net. But you got to win these battles. Winnick can't get it out. Bruins stand in. That's a shot with a purpose by Riley Smith, looking for a redirect tip, rebound, second chance opportunity. We focus on Kyle Soderberg. The emphasis to get to the front of the net, get to the top of the paint, don't disrupt the goaltender. Power play goal for Boston.
Vote for your favorite exciting rewind and enter the mortgage sweepstakes. Each month, Berkshire will give away great prizes, and at the end of the season, one winner will have their mortgage paid for a year. Go to NESN.com/Berkshire Bank for details. Life is exciting. Let Berkshire Bank help. Second period's been difficult for the Bruins all season long. Toronto's second period goal differential is now +18, best in the NHL. Boston's is -8. The Bruins were ranked 24th in second period goal differential coming into tonight. Morgan Rielly intentionally wide. Rask is wise to the carom. Miller can't get the puck out of the zone. Clarkson blocking it down. Chara out to Paille, deflects past Polak. But again, the Bruins clear the zone, can't connect with anybody in the neutral zone, and Toronto wants a quick up. Booth feeds Clarkson over the line. Paille's back pressure takes it away. Paille loops the puck into the Toronto end. Rielly takes it with Campbell on his back. Around the boards for Booth. Miller caves him in. Rielly up to the line. Paille to Campbell. Campbell trickles it in deep. Polak takes it. Cunningham trying to block his path out the other side. But Polak gets it around to Clarkson. Clarkson wobbles the puck ahead for Trevor Smith on the off wing. The backhander off of the inside of Rask's stick to the end boards. Booth on the pivot tries to pick the short side corner up high. Franzen taps it down deep, and Toronto goes back to work in the Boston zone, where it has spent much of the night. David Booth and Seidenberg on the far side. Campbell's the next layer for the Bruins. Goes off the glass. Cunningham bats it free to the center zone, but again, Toronto gets possession right back.
Yeah, you're hitting the nail on the head, Jack, right now with what's going on with Boston here at this point in the hockey game. Their failure to make plays coming out of their own zone. They're allowing Toronto to dictate where the game's being played, how it's being played. You're hoping maybe that little skirmish there with Holzer and a number of the Bruin players. Lucic at the end might have get the Bruins a little bit more into, hey, let's pick it up here. Let's get a little bit more involved physically. Let's win some more battles. But more importantly, let's make some plays.
When the Bruins are playing great hockey, one of their hallmarks is how hard players work for each other off the puck. Hamilton's shot, Marchand deflects it off the heel of the stick, and it goes wide. Chara to Bergeron the drive, and a save by Bernier with 7:02 to go in the second. But we see those Bruins players help out the puck carrier by making moves and showing their stick and saying, here, I'm moving for you. Just put it on my blade.
Yeah, Toronto's not doing anything special in terms of something the Bruins haven't seen before in a forecheck. it's aggressive two men. The defense will pinch down if the decision is there to pinch down. Bruins got to do a better job of making a tape-to-tape pass if it's going D to D. Or that winger has to either be a little bit lower or have some more awareness of the pinching defenseman. And the centerman's got to be closer. They got to make better decisions and execution coming out of their own zone.
Patrice Bergeron will take the face-off for Boston in the neutral zone. Word from the Toronto organization that Joffrey Lupul will not be returning to tonight's game. He sustained a lower body injury. Here's Marchand trying to find a seam. Loses an edge as he curls back. Chara along the line to Hamilton with space. The wrist shot goes off of Bozak to the end boards. Bozak scoops the backhand of the line. Chara kicks it back into the zone. Van Riemsdyk takes possession and leads Winnick up. He's got Bozak but misfires and the passes behind him. It comes off the boards and all the way back through the defensive zone.
That was actually a delayed offside. They said that Chara did not keep that in. Nearly a 2-on-1 for the Leafs.
Chara at his own line. Holzer can't contain the puck. Bergeron to Marchand. Leg saved by Bernier. Bernier coming off a 43-save shutout, and he's allowed just one tonight. Now is on a power play. Winnick's pass deflects off a skate. Soderberg on his horse, trying to cash in the break. Shovels it to Kelly, and Holzer knocks the puck out of the Toronto zone. Kadri on the counter. Here comes Booth. Can't get the shot through Seidenberg twice. Now Kadri at the hash marks, swivels the backhand off the boards. Riley to Polak, the shot. Pinballs around. Miller makes the stop on Kadri in close. Soderberg finds it in his skates off the boards. Kelly can't muscle it out to the neutral zone. Eriksson one hands back to Seidenberg. He slings it off the wall, but again, it's Toronto possession. Polak all the way in on Rask. 5.5 to go in the second period. The Bruins down 2. Komarov shuts down Miller's space. Seidenberg takes a hit from Kessel of all people. When Kessel's involved physically, you know the plague is spreading for Toronto. And from the Leafs perspective, that's a good sickness. Kadri pirouettes it in front of his own goal. Komarov can't control the neutral zone. Griffith ahead past Lucic's reach. Kadri gives back to Polak. D to D to Morgan. Riley soft pass into Kadri skates. He fishes it out before Krejci can steal. Santorelli to Polak. Polak, the defenseman, going deep with Santorelli. Griffith gives Santorelli a bump, but he shields the puck. Takes the hit. Off comes Griffith's hat. It trickles by, and Griffith looks old school as he breaks it clear. Lucic wing to Krejci. Deeks against Phaneuf. Krejci goes to the corner looking for Lucic, and he scores! David Krejci tosses it in front where good things happen. It's Krejci's goal all the way. Lucic's net drive wreaks a little havoc, and the Bruins create a break for themselves. It's 3-2.
And they make a play coming out of their zone. It's been infrequent this period, but now it's going to pay off. They're able to move that puck from wing to wing coming through the neutral zone, and David Krejci with those subtle little fakes coming across the offensive blue line is going to back Phaneuf off. And that gives him enough space down that lane to throw a puck at the net. Good things happen. Maybe the Bruins needed a big break like this. Looked like Franzen got his stick in there to deflect that puck up into the air and then off his body, up high over Bernier and across the red line. Bruins get some life here late in the period. Under 5 minutes to go. They cut it to the lead, 3-2.
You think about all the bounces that have gone not the Bruins' way in the last month. And a couple have gone Boston's way recently. Sometimes you need to manufacture your own luck. Now here's Marchand chipping behind Franzen. Gives him a little hook. They both go down. Bergeron gets the puck to Marchand, who takes a big shot from Phaneuf. Phaneuf chopping away. Bergeron's stick broke in the sequence, and Van Riemsdyk comes up ice. Kessel taps it forward. Chara takes it away into Marchand's skates. Marchand on the right side for Smith. He backs into the corner. Hamilton holds, now throws in front. It's off Marchand, but pinballs past Bergeron.
Marchand tried to tip that play. He tried to tip pass it to Bergeron. They had a 2-on-1 in front of the net.
Riley Smith. Hamilton keeps it in, scoops the backhand, and it lobs just over the lip of the high glass. 3:40 left in the second period. Milan Lucic with the net drive, and David Krejci throws it off a leaf and in. It's 3-2.
On Bruins Face Off Live, we introduce tonight's Mobile Bruins poll presented by the new Scion TC. The ever-popular and timely, what is your New Year's resolution? Reply A for diet and or exercise, B for more time with friends and family, C for quitting a vice, or D for something else. Text your answer to 536-536. Message and data rates may apply. Text HELP for info and visit NESN.com/terms for terms and conditions and privacy policy. Jack, you got one?
Yeah, I'm going to go skiing more. Better to be on a chairlift than a psychiatrist's couch, so it's one or the other. Toronto's offside of the Boston line.
I guess the question is, where are you more comfortable?
Well, setting up for a great ski season, but let's keep it on hockey here.
Absolutely.
Who wants to hear about me? David Krejci getting the Bruins back in it. Toronto, long stretches of the second period, just forcing the puck into the Boston end and keeping it there. Krug, the dart, tape to Eriksson, back to Krug, can't knock it out of the air as Holzer was on his stick. Holzer's made several good stick checks here in the second period. Soderberg in the corner. Kadri lifts his stick, but Kelly's right there in support. Seidenberg risks it intentionally wide. Soderberg catches it, holds it back of the goal. Unmolested, feeds it to the post. Kelly, the shot with purpose, gets the rebound, and Eriksson keeps it alive. Seidenberg wobbles it along the line. Krug chucks it off the corner boards and rolls around for Eriksson. Completely different Bruins team here since they had the rush that produced the goal. Eriksson fishes it away from Kadri. Puck battle, Holzer going against Eriksson. The Bruins with some rare extended zone time here in the second. Winnick, the UNH product, lobs it up to the Boston line. Kelly stops it on the skate for Eriksson. He cuts over the line to Krug. Krug has Krejci far side, and it's in! David Krejci drives the net, and the Bruins have tied it! 2 goals in 3:03, and it is 3-3.
This may be Krug's goal, but no matter who gets credit for it, the Bruins have tied it. Turnover in the neutral zone. There's actually a back check play by Krug that starts this play. He drops it back into center ice, and the Bruins manage the puck and protect the puck well. And Krug trying to get that puck to David Krejci off that far post. The overhead, probably the best replay angle to see how this puck goes in. Left skate to Komarov on the back check. David Krejci's there. The net does not come off its moorings. The puck crosses the goal line. And it appears the Bruins have tied this hockey game. Not sure if David Krejci actually gets a piece of it or not. You can see the referee in perfect position behind the net, shaking off any kind of discussion that this might have been a kicked-in goal by David Krejci. Randy Carlyle obviously wants some kind of video review before the puck gets dropped here, obviously.
Yep, and they ought to look at it. Linesman Brian Mock skating the puck to the neutral zone and handing to Mark Lemelin. It's a good goal. It was bad math. It was 2 goals in 2:03, not 3:03. Holland wins the draw against Krejci. What happened, Brick? Why the sea change here after domination early in the second period by Toronto?
Well, the realization by the Bruins is, we're not making plays coming out of our own zone. I don't think Toronto backed off at all, but the Bruins made a couple of passes, 2 or 3 in a row. And when you're able to do that, you're going to get some speed through center ice. You're going to get some carry-ins, and you're going to get some pucks towards the net, and they got some good breaks.
Bartkowski to Lucic to Krejci with Griffith driving the net. Krejci curls it back of the backhand to get space. Miller's drive goes into the legs of Holland. He muscles on by. Santorelli coming up the middle, but Krejci's there. Santorelli steals and Rask robs him.
Offside.
But the play was offside. No way you're hearing whistles yet, TD Garden.
Well, from our vantage point, you can see that this play was clearly offside. Miller does enough on the back check here after he has the shot blocked. Doesn't want to interfere with Holland, but because that puck doesn't come cleanly off the wall, Holland himself is offside before the steal by Santorelli.
Bergeron wins the draw against Bozak. Chara goes north and south looking for Marchand. Morgan Riley, a little wiggle of the shoulders. Hamilton takes it in front of the Boston bench, spins it to the corner. Riley off the boards. Polak wraps the backhand around. Van Riemsdyk shields it. Bergeron's shot goes off of Bozak. Toronto has run out of energy here as the Bruins press. Marchand, the stop-start against Riley, swivels it back to the forehand. Bergeron leaves it in the circle. Riley jumps on it. It's 3-on-2 off ice, but Chara steals the pass intended for Kessel. Bergeron to Marchand. To Smith, the rocket goes off glass. Chara down to the hash marks, follows to the corner. Can't tap it through Polak and Marchand. Kessel slings the puck through the seam. Krug goes after it. No icing. Krug rattles it around. Kessel unopposed, but he couldn't pull the puck out of the air. It comes all the way to Eriksson. This one pinballs off the stick back to center. Final minute of the second period. And what a wild one it's been as the Bruins have rallied for 2 goals in a span of 123 seconds after getting dominated in the early second. And it's 3-3. Eriksson the steal to Soderberg to Kelly, but the puck pops up and goes over his shoulder. 25 seconds to go in the period. Eriksson on the end boards. Polak tries to staple him in, but can't. Eriksson back to Seidenberg. The drive gets blocked, pops up in the defensive slot, and Kadri skates it out to the red line. Soft backhand all the way down to the corner. Kelly plasters Kadri, and he goes down. Clarkson bangs hard against Krug. The puck loose on the kick plate at the end board. Winnick took Kadri, can't get off any kind of shot, and Eriksson will bleed the clock dry as Clarkson is right near Rask's crease, and Rask goes Timmy Thomas and almost puts the paddle on him, but restrains himself at the last second.
Like the emotion. I don't care where it comes from, your goaltender, anybody. And now the 2 goaltenders having a little discussion.
Rask is barking at Bernier. Come and get it, big boy. I think we're going to pop the cork before we get to midnight, Dale.
And if we end it with a goaltender fight.
Bruins.com/pucks and pups. It's a happy new year. And the Bruins hope to make sure of that in the next 45 minutes or so. Just a few seconds ago, Brick had a chance to chat with Bruins assistant coach Joe Sacco.
Joe, in that second period, it sure seemed like Toronto had some really good forecheck pressure for the majority, but something changed in the final 5-6 minutes. In your eyes, what did change?
I think we just got to the net a little bit more, especially off the rush, and I think right now, their goalie seems to be fighting a little bit of traffic when we get there with some jam to the net. So, hopefully that's something that we can build on going into the third period. But yeah, I mean, the first half of that period, we kind of sat back on our heels a little bit, and that's not how we want to play.
Well, if you think Bernier might be fighting the puck a little bit, does that mean, I don't know, quantity instead of quality here in the third?
I think so. I think one thing we got to do a good job of this period is making sure when we move that puck out to our D-man that the shots get through. They're a dangerous team. They're blocking shots. They like to transition quickly. So, yeah, we want to get shots on the net, but if they're in the lanes, then we got to use the back of the net and then, establish a low cycle game.
Well, one more period for truly a happy new year. Good luck in the third.
Okay, thanks, Brick.
Torrey Krug gets his 7th of the season from Louis Eriksson and Carl Soderberg. That's the tying goal coming at 17:31 and climaxing a substantial turnaround in the late second period. 2 goals in 2:03. Game summary brought to you by your New England Chevy dealers. So on to the third, and let's see if the Bruins can do what Sacco was asking them to do.
Yeah, and more than that, you got to have some believability here. You got this game very manageable now with 2 goals in that second period late to make it 3-3. And they're going to go right on the power play here. Van Riemsdyk in the box. You sit in the locker room between periods, Jack, and you say, all right, there are games when you're going to have stretches of bad minutes. Well, we've had our stretch of bad minutes. It happened in the second period. Now we're going to finish this game off on home ice. This is a team right in front of us in the standings. Let's go get it.
Riley Smith to Louis Erickson. He's got Bergeron in the high slot. Soderberg down low. Smith to Erickson. The man on the far circle is Dougie Hamilton. Hamilton closes, holds, finds Erickson through the penalty-killing area, and Smith's shot goes just wide with Soderberg screening again. Hamilton holds, chips the backhand down low to Soderberg, holds off enough, indirect to Hamilton along the line. Smith's drive goes into the legs of Winnick, and he comes up ice, but Hamilton wedges him off the puck. Toronto very dangerous with 6 shorthanded goals, tied for first in the league in that category this season. Cody Franzen rifles it around. Smith kicks it up in the air. It pops loose, trickles through to Erickson, but it gets past him, and Franzen sizzles it down the rink. Torrey Krug takes it back in front of his own goal. Krejci racing up the right side. Marchand feathers it through to Griffith. To Krejci, he's in alone. Glove save by Bernier. The Bruins with a beautiful 180-foot rush, and David Krejci got it in and out of the glove of Jonathan Bernier.
No, this is just how you draw it up. Krug's going to carry this puck. He gets challenged a little bit. The short pass to Marchand, the quick relay to Griffith. Everybody in the right spot. Speed through the neutral zone. Deft little hands on Griffith to find Krejci again with that effective 10-12-foot pass, and Krejci trying to sneak one to the glove side, short side, but Bernier, you heard Joe Sacco say, he's fighting a little bit, especially when we have traffic going on the net, but able to get enough of that shot to keep it out.
Well, the Bruins have supported each other marvelously, making themselves available for short passes at even strength and here on the power play since the turn of momentum, or maybe forcing the turn of momentum. Krejci to Krug, the drive with Chara in front against Polak. Komarov trying to scoot through the corner. Griffith is on him, and Krug goes forward to disrupt the clearing attempt. Krejci to Marchand on the half boards, trickles it back, and it hops over the line. Still half a minute to go on the power play. Komarov wrapping up Krejci. Krug holds with Marchand peeling off to the left. Krejci with speed over the line. Phaneuf puts the hip on him. Krejci keeps going. Polak tries to pry the backhand out of the corner. Marchand mucking for it down there. Griffith a quick couple of steps. Keeps it alive on the wall. Marchand closes right toward goal. Chara couldn't tuck it in on the far side. Didn't have a clean path with the stick. Here's Krejci. The drive tipped in front off Phaneuf, I believe, and into the protective netting with 4 seconds to go in Van Riemsdyk's slashing penalty.
Griffith pinches down the wall, keeps the play alive to get it to Marchand, and Marchand pulls his puck off the wall and attacks the net, exactly what you want to do. And he has Chara on that far side looking for the redirect. Not sure if Phaneuf gets a piece of it or not. It's got to be a hard pass, and it looks like the Toronto defenseman just deflects it to disrupt that tape-to-tape pass. Marchand to Chara looking for the go-ahead goal.
Holzer drills it around and out. 1 shot on goal during the power play for the Bruins. Now can they continue to generate 5-on-5 momentum from that? Miller spins the backhand up to the red line. Lucic locked up with Holzer. Out muscles him, gets it to Kelly. Now here's Cunningham, quick couple of steps, juggles it, tries to go around Gardner, picks it up on the end boards. Gardner wraps him up. Cunningham fights right through the check. Cunningham's hard backhand gets through to Seidenberg. The shot tipped up on Bernier. Lucic crashes the net and bodies go flying. Cunningham, a big hit, keeps it alive for the moment. And it's cleared, no icing here.
Yeah, don't be looking for that pass back to the left point when Phil Kessel's on the ice. Keep that puck down deep.
Lucic to Bergeron to Smith. Flattens it, goes around Polak. Smith keeps his feet moving. Polak whacks it off the end boards. And Riley picks it up. The soft toss. Lucic wins the race against Kessel, who didn't compete on that. Here's Lucic back to Chara. The wrist shot off Bozak's skates. Smith keeps it alive. Bernier pokes to the corner. Bergeron goes after it there. Hamilton pinches down. Van Riemsdyk gives it away to Marchand, but in turn he gives it to Riley. Riley up to the red line, off the boards. Chara takes possession as Toronto changes out. Bergeron trying to catch the Leafs in a shift. The pass bounces through Marchand. Phaneuf belts Marchand as Bernier gathers in the puck.
Saturday afternoon at 12 on Big Bad Bruins Live, presented by DCU, Digital Federal Credit Union. Get all the latest news from around the NHL and find out who will reign supreme as the DCU Hero of the Week. Stay on top of everything Bruins every week, all season long.
Tremendously entertaining game with some remarkable ebbs and flows. When teams have gotten the momentum, Brick, they have kept it for 10, 12, 15 shifts at a time.
And each team has given the other team that momentum with a high number of turnovers and poor execution, yet the entertainment value there.
Azim Kadri leads out David Clarkson. Clarkson the self-pass. Krug with the angle and the effort. Clarkson wedges down on him, loses his low glove. Soderberg turns it back against the grain. And Krug does a nice job keeping his position against Winnick. Kelly clears the puck. Soderberg bounces it forward toward Phaneuf. Backs in against him. Wins the puck battle. Gets it back, but past Seidenberg all the way to the Boston zone.
Yeah, it would have been nice to be a right-handed shot there if you were that point man. Unfortunately, Seidenberg on that offside couldn't keep it in with a skate.
Seidenberg sizzles it past Clarkson's glove. No icing here. And the Bruins will take a full change. The Campbell line with Cunningham and Paille, and Paille anticipates, but he can't keep the puck under the glass after deflecting it upward.
Well, nearly a bad turnover. A long distance pass in your own zone with a lot of open ice. If that puck gets turned over, back towards your goal. Also trying to make a pass up the wing. Paille well positioned. Unfortunately, when he gets his stick on it, gets up and over by that rounded glass by the Toronto bench.
Trevor Smith, David Booth, and David Clarkson. The line for Randy Carlyle's Toronto Maple Leafs. Craig Cunningham battling Booth, and the puck slides over to Jake Gardner. Gardner, an excellent skater. Cranks it around and rides high in the dasher. Bartkowski bounces it over to Campbell. Campbell into Cunningham's skates. He flattens the puck for Kevin Miller. D to Bartkowski. Bartkowski up to the red line. Campbell redirects it in deep. Paille unopposed in the corner. Gardner taps it away from Paille. Smith across his own zone. Bartkowski plays it safe as there are two Leafs against one Bruin. Holzer and Clarkson working that far side. Miller into the corner. Smith is there beating Paille to the puck. Now it's Cunningham in front of the Zamboni doors. Gives it away to Clarkson. Spins to the forehand. Loose in front. Cunningham and a save by Rask as the puck ricocheted up, and it looked as if it might even go inside the post, but Rask blocked it off.
Yeah, the referee was waving it off, so you got to assume that made contact with the iron.
Gardner off the boards, off the toe of Kessel's skate, and Griffith takes it away from him. Miller backs into the defensive slot. He's got Bartkowski with him. Lucic coming deep. Bartkowski tries the pass forward, looking for Krejci. It's off Bozak's stick. Lucic takes it away from Riley. Now bounces it through to Krejci. Krejci the extension, turns to the forehand, whips it off Lucic's skates. Lucic swivels to Krejci. Krejci to Lucic, walks in, turns loose in the crease. He gets flattened, but down goes Bernier underneath Riley. Chara tries to crush it and snaps his stick in two. Krejci off the skates to Griffith, spins it to the corner. Lucic gets body position on Riley, goes hard to the end boards. Riley goes down. Extended zone time for the Bruins. Chara can't keep it inside the line. Kessel cheating a little bit, gives up the puck. Krejci across to Griffith, couldn't scrape the one-timer on goal. Kessel back in defensive corner. Griffith lifts his stick and Kessel can't clear the zone. Gets it back to Riley, off glass, over everybody, down to the Boston zone.
The two best looks, the one-timer for Chara, snap of the stick. A one-timer and a pass from Krejci to Griffith, kind of heals it.
This is going to be icing. There is more lumber down in the Toronto zone than there is at some lumber yards.
Well, the Bruins weren't able to make a play deep in their own zone, and that leads to pressure and an opportunity for Toronto. A shot catches the outside of the post. Chance for Lucic. Krejci again drawing people to him. Lucic trying to take that puck and go for that wide sweeping wraparound. And maybe the best chance was for Griffith on the one-timer. Again, David Krejci right in the middle of everything. Selling the shot, sliding it from one dot to the other for the one-timer. It just kind of healed that opportunity. And he had Bernier without a stick there for a while, too.
Bergeron wins the face-off into Chara, skates right in front of the Boston goal. It guns it off the boards. Franzen backpedals into the Toronto zone, feeds it forward to Kadri. He gets the pass through Smith, but Chara takes it back for Boston. And it's ruled offside. 13-18 to go in the game. Threes are wild at TD Garden on New Year's Eve. Rick, we mentioned this earlier, that the feedback from fans in the last couple of days after the Bruins showing against the Detroit Red Wings is that every once in a while they can live with the bad bounce of a puck. But what they would not tolerate is a lack of the kind of effort that the Bruins displayed against Detroit. And in the course of an NHL season, in the course of most games, there are going to be periods when things don't go well for you. But the Bruins have shown great resilience and tremendous effort, and they have battled right back into this one. Krug with a great hip check on Kadri, who does a 720 spinning around near the Boston line. Krug with a quick couple of steps takes the ice, gives it forward to Marchand off his stick and in deep. Bernier plays it past Phaneuf. Bergeron intercepts. His pass trickles past Phaneuf in the other direction, and Franzen comes out on the right side of his own zone. Phaneuf to Winnick. Winnick forward to Kadri. Kadri's wrist shot into Seidenberg's legs. Winnick keeps going, and Rask puts the leg pad down to steer it aside. Soderberg twirls it back of the Boston goal. Bartkowski's pass does not connect with Kelly. Gardner back after. Gardner, the pivot around his net, and he turns with speed, but Soderberg's in his face, making him veer offline. The pass all the way forward. Bartkowski and Komarov to the end boards. Miller trying to extract his stick from the pile. Bulls past Holland. Soderberg scoops it up and out. Gardner knocks the puck down. Bruins not making plays out of their own zone right now, and Toronto trying to pour it in deep. That pass for Eriksson doesn't connect. He gets a second chance and throws it in behind Holzer. Here's Kelly going to work. Sends it around for Soderberg. Tries to curl past Gardner, who wedges him off. Komarov off the boards. Chara makes the play. Turns, fires. It goes off Holzer's stick. Eriksson lopes through the seam. Picks it up. Chara stabs the backhand past Holland down the boards. Kelly wheels on the wall. Eriksson to Hamilton, the one-timer. Krejci on the doorstep, but the puck wobbles over his stick. Chara indirect. The Bruins go right back into the attacking zone. Krejci goes around the end boards. Lucic to Griffith. He's got Hamilton nearby. Hamilton's wrist shot saved by Bernier. Krejci gets knocked down in front in a tussle with Gardner. Lucic finishes his check, hammering Holland, who reels backward.
Tough shift for Holland. Chara got him, and then Lucic got him.
Welcome to Boston. Chara breaks his second stick in as many shifts. Here's Kessel working on the stickless Chara. Lucic back to slow down Kessel. Griffith with the effort. So many layers for the Bruins, helping out the captain, who shatters more lumber. Krejci steers it over the line. Lucic is spent at the end of his shift. Here's Van Riemsdyk into the Boston zone. The shot goes into the legs of Seidenberg. Bounces back to Kessel. He twirls it into the middle. Van Riemsdyk extends back to Franzen the drive, and Rask gathers it into his guts. How's your entertainment factor tonight?
Oh, a little tough luck, too, for David Krejci, who's all by himself after the shot from the point. Nice body contact and stick position by Chara. Good battle factor down low. Heads up pass back to the point. The one-timer by Hamilton, and Krejci's right there, but the rebound somehow finds its way through his skates and out of his reach.
Tremendous hockey game in the 656th meeting of the Boston Bruins and the Toronto Maple Leafs. Dennis Seidenberg trickles it around. Marchand has plenty of space. Draws it back and gives it forward. Krug, 1 against 5, waits for the change. Fires it cross corner. Campbell picks it up, tries to tap it all the way through to Paille. Second effort goes to the end board. Morgan Riley around through the corner, gets it to Booth, who chops it out, and it tumbles into the Boston zone. Seidenberg up the boards. Campbell comes down off the stick of Trevor Smith. Campbell gets his stick and Clarkson skates. He goes for a ride, and they're going to let him play in the third period. Krug picks it up, curls back, gives it forward to Paille, taps it up the wall. Gardner hits the brakes. Santorelli's on his right. He gives left to Riley. The defenseman carries up and out of his own zone, up to the red line. Rask out of his goal to knock it down behind the net. It goes into the body of Santorelli to Winnick. Back to Santorelli in the corner. Spins to the backhand against Bergeron. Right across the goal mouth. Pops up in the air. Miller can't clear the zone. Gardner gives it away to Marchand. 3-on-2. Bergeron the trailer. Smith here in front. The deflection comes shoulder high, and Smith can't bat it out of the air as he's skating about 15 miles an hour toward goal. Kadri wrists it toward Rask. He'll calm things down and take the face-off of the Boston end. What a tremendous hockey game tonight. 9:15 to go, third period. 3-3 the Bees and Leafs. 2:03 in the second, the key play brought to you by your New England Audi dealer.
Bruins started to make some plays coming out of their own zone, and once they were able to do that, good things happened through center ice. Good net drive on that weak side post by Milan Lucic. David Krejci puts the puck in that area, and they get a good bounce off Franzen, and then a turnover by the Leafs in the neutral zone. Actually, it was a good defensive play by Krug to bat the puck down. Got some help from Kelly. Krug jumps into the play after starting it, after initiating it, and he finishes it off. He was trying to make a play to Krejci, but it found its way across the goal line inside that far post.
He combined those two with the Campbell goal with Soderberg getting his hat knocked off those sequences against Detroit. Here's Eriksson to the corner to Kelly, and the Bruins are getting greasy ones. Here's Kelly in front. Chops it all the way across. Komarov with a big hit into Seidenberg. Eriksson can't make the centering pass, but stays with it. Hammers it off the corner boards, hard enough to get it to Krug. The wrist shot, glove saved by Bernier, with Phaneuf trading against Kelly on the doorstep.
They go back to the last shift for the Bergeron line on the ice, and Santorelli's going to get this puck in the corner. He's going to get some separation, but that free hand by Bergeron, Jack. Sometimes you need the sight lines to make the penalty calls, and it was quick. He grabbed him by the jersey. Santorelli wanted a call, but none coming. You said they're going to let him play here in the third, aren't they?
Yeah, Mike Lego and Mark Lemlin got control of this game early. Kept control of it when tempers were simmering and Rask and Bernier were barking at each other at the end of the second period. And we got a tremendous hockey game. Well officiated tonight. Chara turns and fires it up to the Boston line.
His stick didn't break.
That is noteworthy, my friend. Chara, as usual, leads the Bruins now with 8 broken sticks in the run of play this season, despite the fact that he's only playing his 19th game. That's a strong boy, that number 33. Van Riemsdyk cross ice. Kessel has a little space working against Chara, but the puck springs off his stick. Chara takes a hit from Bozak. Soderberg right there. The Bruins doing an excellent job supporting each other since having a really hard time mid-second period. Train number 17 up the left wing. Centers it right on Bernier, and he's got to hug the post and tuck the puck in there. When Lucic gets the feet moving, that guy can really go.
And making plays coming out of your own zone. Chara, little chip pass to his partner Hamilton. Post up, gets separation. Discourage the defenseman for Toronto, in this case Riley, to come down and pinch, and then Griffin's able to go wing to Lucic in stride. Speed through center, attack the net.
Krejci to take the face-off with Lucic in the shooter's position. Kadri on the draw for Toronto. Krejci to Lucic, the shot goes wide. Miller jumps up. Bartkowski after with Clarkson trailing. Krejci. Bartkowski. Kevin Miller. Past the red line. Kadri bounces it to center. Griffith turns and cracks it through both corners. Krejci on the backhand off the end boards. Phaneuf against Lucic. Lucic pressures Phaneuf. He gets the pass up the boards cleanly. Winnick pulls it back and gives it back to the Toronto captain. Now Cody Franzen. This is Dion Phaneuf. Past Winnick, doesn't connect. That'll be icing against Toronto.
Tonight at 10, get the latest sports news on NESN Sports Today, presented by People's United Bank. Gary and Nikki will have Bruins reaction to tonight's game, highlights of the Kings and Celtics, and a recap of the best Boston sports plays from the past year. Get all that and more tonight at 10.
Milan Lucic having a good bid on goal. Krug's shot wrists wide. Bergeron after Franzen. Now it's Marchand trying to twist for it. Marchand with pressure on Phaneuf's stick. Bergeron comes in. Santorelli off the boards. The Bruins setting up the layers nicely, looking really synced defensively Krug to Smith. Smith in front for Marchand. The backhand right through the goal. Now Santorelli speeds back, takes it, and chucks it off glass. But now it's Toronto that can't make plays out of its own zone. The Bruins are offside here.
Krug on the far side, still deep in the offensive zone. He was charging the net after that play when they came across the blue line. Good hold right there by Riley Smith. That little play, Jack, just push it to the boards. That doesn't allow Toronto to make a steal. And, you know, even though the play doesn't develop immediately, it still develops because you protect the puck. And then Smith was able to find Marchand, who was looking for Bergeron, and that's when Krug was trying to come in and be that second layer and pick up a loose puck. That's why he was still in the offensive zone when the Bruins tried that quick re-entry.
Brick, we saw Columbus seem to target Milan Lucic as he was the only Bruins player who was consistently physically involved, and they were trying to eliminate him and maybe that part of Boston's game. But we have seen the team, to a man, make the physical commitment the last couple of games. Campbell to Paille, and the puck flips harmlessly into the Boston bench.
Yeah, and to a man, to use that phrase, they know, the Bruins, that that's the way they play when they play their best. Because the best chance to win, it gets everybody invested, everybody's engaged. Your awareness becomes sharper and keener, and that's been some issues for the Bruins this year. That awareness, Claude certainly talked about that a lot when things weren't going their way. So you got 6:17 to go in the third period. You want to put all those elements to use right now. You'll get chances against Toronto. They're not great in their own zone. Keep getting the puck in.
Rask out of his goal. Bartkowski hard through the corner. Paille can't deflect it past Holzer. Paille tries again. Trevor Smith steals. Paille stabs it loose. Bounces across the slot. Miller hard off the boards. It deflects to Gardner. He regains the Boston line. Pulls up. Sends Clarkson ahead. The shot comes back to him on the rebound. Rask tumbling around in traffic. Paille scoops the backhand forward just to take the pressure off. It'll be icing against the Bruins. Decision-making at a premium in moments such as these.
Yeah, what an advantage right now for the Leafs. You know, they get fresh bodies on the ice. Their top line, Bruins fourth line on the ice. The backhand off the glass by Paille, too much on it. So big shift, big matchup right here to start this shift.
Bozak against Campbell on the faceoff. Campbell wins it to Bartkowski. He angles it off the boards. And it's going to be another icing.
Well, you're trying to get the change, obviously, because of you know, the matchup of the lines. Campbell does a great job of just diving into that circle to force the puck back. Bartkowski had a chance to make a short little pass. Could have slid it right over to Cunningham, and Cunningham had plenty of space to skate that puck out, but he tried to just lay it in the neutral zone in order to get the change, had too much on it.
Campbell was just 1 for 7 on faceoffs on the night going into this sequence, and now he wins 2 in a row. But Van Riemsdyk out-muscles Miller on the far side. Miller angles him to the end boards. Kessel whacks the puck to the corner. Van Riemsdyk sends it back to the point. Polak around through the corner. Miller takes it unopposed. Bozak comes in and bangs Miller. Now Campbell jousting for the puck, and it squirts into his skates. Bozak can't continue possession. Kelly to Bartkowski out of the zone. The Bruins get a much-needed change. Polak turns in his own end. Louis Eriksson knocks it down. Kelly can't touch it because he was offside. Eriksson on the continuation goes to the end boards and pins in Polak, who loses an edge. Kelly slips it under Polak. Eriksson continues to battle. Eriksson going 1-on-2, and Polak takes him out of the play. Van Riemsdyk up to the line. Hamilton steps forward and keeps it inside the attacking zone. Riley nudges it past. But here's Chara sending Soderberg in. Wheels it through the slot. Chara past the hash marks into the corner. Nudges it past Polak. Eriksson A-frames and then gives to Soderberg. Soderberg stumbles off stick contact from Riley and spins it in on Bernier, who will take the face-off in his own end. I probably shouldn't ask you this question on New Year's Eve, but when we come back, Brick, what time's it going to be? Pre-game skate. Brick, since the defibrillator came out and shocked life back into the Bruins in the second period, that Krejci goal that made it 3-2. Bruins have outshot Toronto 11-2 in a little bit more than 20 minutes. Smith lifts Winnick's stick, shoves the puck toward the corner. Marchand A-frames to keep space against Phaneuf. Franzen rattles the backhand. Marchand steals it, trickles it back to Seidenberg. He goes cross corner with it. Kadri wins the race against Bergeron. Franzen looked as if he was going to give it away to Seidenberg, but the puck wiggles all the way through.
Yeah, right in front of Bernier. You had a battle between Phaneuf and Marchand, and Bernier ended up going down again.
The pass does not connect through the neutral zone. 3:49 to go, and a face-off in the Boston end.
Well, Bergeron made contact with him earlier in the hockey game. We'll watch right at the top of the crease. Marchand trying to get his stick in between Phaneuf. Phaneuf's trying to put his stick on Marchand. And then it's the Toronto defenseman, Phaneuf, that actually knocks down his own goaltender.
Bozak and Bergeron on the face-off. Bozak wins it back to Korbinian-Holzer. Lifts it around. Van Riemsdyk, the extension on the backhand. Back to Gardner. Bergeron takes a swat at it, but can't clear the zone. Now it's Van Riemsdyk stick handling in traffic, but Bergeron takes it off his blade. Gives to Riley Smith. The soft tumbler down to the corner, and it rolls in. Lucic hammers Holzer. That loosens the puck for Krejci. Krejci off the strings as Bozak got a piece of it. Here's Lucic with a stick lift to win it from Gardner. Back to Hamilton. Hamilton intentionally wide. Takes a wild bounce off the skirt. Krejci controls it coming past the post. Krejci shielding the puck. High slot all the way to the blue line. Low for Hamilton and front. Lucic's redirection goes over the bar and hits glass. Tremendous work by Krejci and Lucic. Now here's Lucic in the corner. Leaves it off the boards. Griffith swoops in as the Bruins get some zone time late in a sensational hockey game. Griffith scooting out to the blue line. Lucic to Krejci. Krejci tries to find a seam. Griffith there in support. Swings it to Hamilton. Loads up the drive. A save by Bernier. The puck deflects up and out of play with 2.5 minutes to go in the game.
Oh, David Krejci all over the offensive zone, along with Lucic, along with Griffith, doing a number of good things to protect the puck. The Bruins are trying to be active with their defense. Hamilton's going to jump down. Krejci's able to find him. That redirect by Lucic, trying to get it up top onto the crossbar. Dougie Hamilton, after a nice little backhand feed by Griffith, tries to rip it short side. Good save by Bernier. Not only make the save, but to deflect it up over the glass to slow things down. We talked about Boston, how they could be dominant in the offensive zone against a team that gives up a ton of shots and a ton of chances. Bruins all over the Leafs here, third period. Keep the pressure on.
Some of the big and some of the bad has returned to the Boston Bruins. Playing a very robust style of hockey in the last couple of games.
Yeah, and you called it too on this most recent shift. Lucic on the little chip in by Riley Smith as the Bruins were changing out the forward line. Lucic got in there and solid body contact. Read and react by Krejci. Turnover, puck possession.
Bruins win the faceoff. Krug's shot sails wide. Tons of traffic in front. Hard for Bernier to get a clean look. Holland laterally for Morgan Riley. Cuts back against Krug. Rifles it off the end glass. Santorelli goes in deep against Eriksson, who followed him all the way to the end boards. Soderberg trickles it out to the red line. Morgan Riley on the tight radius turn cranks it cross ice, and it scales up off the dasher and into the Boston bench. And Doug Jarvis diving for cover behind the Boston player.
That was Donnie Del Negro that's getting out of the way, and he almost tackles Doug Jarvis. Riley's just going to whip this puck. He's trying to get it wing to wing and just bank it off the boards in the general direction of Santorelli. You got to pay attention when you're down at that level.
Hey, the head trainer ought to know what the injuries look like. He was getting the heck out of there. 2 minutes to go. Tremendous hockey game tonight at TD Garden. Bruins haven't won on New Year's Eve since 2007. Kadri off the boards. Riley Smith into the corner against Winnick. Hamilton comes in, slams Winnick. Smith without his stick. Kadri over that dead wood. Franzen along the line. And Bergeron wins the puck battle to get it to center against Phaneuf. Marchand knocks Phaneuf backward. Marchand to Smith. Gets it into the corner for Bergeron. Bergeron holds on the backhand. Back to Hamilton, over to Krug. Krug's shot goes off Clarkson's legs. Smith lifts Kadri's stick. Bergeron pokes it off the boards. Franzen takes it with 1:22 to go. Goes off the wall and it bounces down to Hamilton. Indirect, long to the line to Marchand. Has Krejci with him. Krejci feathers the puck. Finds a little bit of space. Krejci in front. Eriksson has it come off his skate as he was tangled up with Polak. Gardner skates a 1 against 4. Gives to Bozak, back for Gardner off his skate. Chara slams Gardner as we enter the final minute of the game. David Krejci spoons it to the middle of the line. Van Riemsdyk to Bozak to Kessel. Kessel pulls up, brings it back to Gardner. Gardner fakes, wrists it around through the corner. Lucic far side with Bozak approaching. Lucic makes the pass to Krejci. Krejci tosses it up the right wing. Eriksson measuring his strides against Gardner, wins the puck. Krejci through the corner. Polak and Lucic. Lucic gets his body in the way, and Polak sticks, snaps on contact with Lucic. About 20 seconds to go. Krug scrambles, gets it to Hamilton through the seam. Eriksson picks it up with 17 to go. Eriksson back to Hamilton. Hamilton closes. Lucic high slot. Hamilton holds on the half boards. Lucic with 8. The rocket goes just wide. Here's Krug in front for Krejci, and it skips over his stick. 3 seconds left. Hamilton guns it, and it skips just wide of the post. The siren sounds, and we'll go to an extra period. And Dougie Hamilton is willing to mix it up with Van Riemsdyk at the final siren. And when you see a 21-year-old who's a little bit north of 200 pounds starting to realize he's one of the strongest men on the ice at any given moment, that is a healthy sign for the Boston Bruins.
Keep the momentum going into overtime. You've been a great overtime team all period. What an opportunity to beat a team like the Leafs here on home ice.
In the final minutes of 2014, sudden death.
He's got a pair in Marchand late October, early November with a pair himself.
Loui Eriksson playing in his 600th NHL game tonight. The Bruins have scored 5 overtime goals. That leads the league. Boston's overtime goal differential going with Claude Julien's commitment to win the 3 forwards and 1 defenseman is +4, best in the NHL. Toronto is ranked number 20 in overtime goal differential at -1. Nobody's asking for his money back tonight. It has been a tremendously entertaining night of hockey at TD Garden. Phaneuf, Franzen, Bozak, and Kessel for the Maple Leafs. Marchand, Smith, Bergeron, and Hamilton for Boston. Franzen, Bergeron pokes it away, but Phaneuf is right there. Kessel, the wide sweep to the right, but Smith steals the puck, gives to Marchand. Marchand shot through Bernier, but Marchand picks it up. Hamilton. Marchand curls off the boards, spins to the backhand against Phaneuf. Bergeron coming high. Bergeron against Kessel, leaves it for Marchand, comes off the half boards, a shot and a save by Bernier to the near side. Bergeron sends it toward the corner. Marchand picks it up against Kessel. Kessel knocks the puck away. Franzen out to Bozak. He gloves it down. The Bruins change out.
That started with a steal right around the offensive blue line for Boston, and then man-on-man coverage, and the Bruins were able to just do a little crisscross on a cycle. Bergeron, Marchand, real good opportunity.
Nazem Kadri cuts back against Chris Kelly and then goes the other way. Kadri finds some space, closes, the shot sails over the top. Hard bounce off the glass, but it doesn't bounce Boston's way. Van Riemsdyk the power move, but he turns it into Krug's skates. The puck deflects through the center circle. Gardner showing his skating speed, but the pass back to Polak. Bounces all the way back. Let's go Bruins, the chant from the crowd. Gardner gives it forward to Van Riemsdyk. Van Riemsdyk over the red line, gathers speed, works to the backhand. Chara lines him up. Van Riemsdyk sends the puck to the far side. Kadri. Lucic swipes it away. He's got Griffith with him. Krejci on the near side. The saucer pass wobbles all the way through. Lucic near the blue line. Gets the pass from Krejci in front for Griffith. Could not redirect it into the far side. And Gardner races back. Gardner working against Chara. Veers back for possession. How many skaters Toronto had there? Traffic jam looked like at least 5. And this play is ruled offside.
Wow, pretty liberal change right there for the Leafs. Once Gardner turned back, I mean, the rest of the Leafs thought he was going to keep the puck in the offensive zone, maybe even chip it deep, and a wholesale line change coming out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 with puck possession and not in complete, close proximity to the bench. This pass by Lucic is a fake shot pass, and it kind of curved a little bit from left to right. And that gave Griffith a little bit of a problem as he tried to redirect that puck to the open side and get it up by the heel.
Dougie Hamilton curls away from Santorelli. Marchand kicks to the stick. Stops against Franzen. Marchand up the boards for Smith. Phaneuf lifts his stick, but there's Bergeron, the wraparound off the stick of Bernier. Franzen controls in the corner, draws Riley Smith to him. Peter Holland back to Franzen. Now Mike Santorelli with Dion Phaneuf, the defenseman, all the way at the left side of the blue line. Santorelli around Bergeron, cuts it back at the hash marks, gives it low. Here's Holland, turns, fires, looks for Holzer on the doorstep, but he couldn't get a clean swat into the open side. Santorelli digs it out of the pile along the kick plate and flips the backhand in deep. Holland curls with speed, holds it on the backhand. Holland out to Phaneuf at the line, chucks it ahead and gives it away to Hamilton. Trying to sneak it through the seam to Marchand. Curls back against Holland and loses an edge. On they go. Bergeron steps forward against Holland. Can't get the puck. Clarkson can't get it through. Clarkson closes. Dangles around. Kelly takes it away. Bergeron, who is spent, gets it forward to Kelly. Here's Torrey Krug. Krug has Eriksson far side. Rattles it off Phaneuf skates. Leo Komarov with a buck 16 to go in the game. Bounces across ice. Soderberg wins the puck there. Soderberg slips it deep for Eriksson. Eriksson has Kelly in front. Saucers to Krug. The drive. Hits Clarkson in front. Komarov lugs it out to the red line. Soderberg on his back. Komarov turns just inside the Boston line. Final minute of the game here. Torrey Krug. Louis Eriksson. Eriksson carries it into the zone. Soderberg all the way to the corner. Back to Chara. The wrist shot in front. And Bernier gloves it with Eriksson breathing on him. 43 seconds left.
Now the entertainment continues here in overtime. Patrice Bergeron is going to try to get back and protect the house. Holland, little spin move, has holes in the defenseman right at the top of the crease. Good stick position by Bergeron. And then the final shot, a wrist shot by Char. He's trying to get in the direction of Louis Eriksson, looking for a redirect. Glove save Bernier.
Krejci, Lucic, Griffith, Chara. The 4 skaters for Boston. Bozak, Winnick. The forwards. Here's Krejci through the front. Winnick, a defensive-minded forward. Now here's Bozak. He's got Polak breaking up on the right side. Bozak, the backhand off Chara's skates. 20 seconds to go. 3-on-2 up ice. Krejci with Griffith ahead of him. Across to Lucic. He fires and it goes off. Polak up and out of play with 13 seconds to go.
Good back press by Lucic. And that allows Chara to make the steal. And then in transition, it's Lucic is going to come just a little bit late. It is that nice little back pass, that back diagonal. Again, David Krejci with the good vision, the net drive by Griffith. And that allows Lucic to get that return pass from David Krejci, but a good shot block by Polak.
Roman Polak getting some work done on the skate. Or maybe the foot. Sometimes those blocker protectors end up getting busted. About 10 seconds to go in sudden death overtime. Marchand forward to the goal line. The quick release. Riley Smith. 5 seconds to go in front. Marchand trying to settle it. running out of time. The backhander off Bergeron's stick, and the siren sounds. A bit of a pity that it won't end up being decided on a real hockey goal, but it'll go to a shootout.
You just got to love the Bruins' attitude when it comes to overtime. Their 5-1 record, had a chance, a couple of chances, a number of chances to end this thing in the OT. They'll have to earn the extra point in the shootout, despite the terrific effort by the black and gold here in the second half of this hockey game.
Save of the game brought to you by Digital Federal Credit Union. What can DCU save you? 1-0 Toronto first period. And Tuukka Rask goes post to post to deny Morgan Rielly. You see Tuukka Rask's record in shootouts and Bernier's. Looks as if Boston has elected to shoot first.
Toronto will shoot first in tonight's shootout.
I know you were talking Rangers and Panthers at the top of the broadcast, Jack. About 3-point games? Yep. Well,
yeah,
here we go.
Yeah, here we go. Bruins have elected to have Toronto shoot first. Santorelli will start it off. Santorelli walks in, dekes and scores. 5-hole underneath Tuukka Rask.
Pretty confident move by Santorelli. He's been a nice addition to this Leafs team. Playing with a lot of confidence. Good role player.
Shooting for the Bruins.
Makes that quick little move. Backhand, forehand. Trying to get the goaltender to open up just slightly. Rask does. Right over the stick.
He was a 20-goal scorer in 2011. Riley Smith scored 20 in 2014. He shoulder fakes, but flips the backhand wide.
Looked like he had room too, Jack. Not the smoothest move. Little stutter step when he got in around the hash mark. Kind of lost an edge slightly. Pulled it to the backhand. Still had room. Just missed.
Tyler Bozak, the serpentine route toward Rask, holds on his hip, rings it off the post, hits Rask, and goes out.
Real serpentine. Couple of S moves coming across, but the philosophy's still the same. Come from the backhand side to the forehand side, get center between the hash marks, get the goaltender move, and look for an opening.
Defenseman Torrey Krug slowly winds in, fires it over the glove side. So casual, and then an explosive snapshot to tie the shootout 1-1.
Oh, that's sweet. That's absolutely sweet by Krug. The quick release in stride. No chance for Bernier. That's a bullet over the glove, under the bar.
James Van Riemsdyk. Walks in, dekes, tries the reach, but Rask is wise to it, sprawling out well forward of his crease.
I don't think Rask going to get it with the poke check, but he does get it with his body. Van Riemsdyk tries to go back underneath him through his legs. But Rask gets the body down in time to smother it. Chance for the Bruins to win it.
Brad Marchand with the cork still in the bottle. Walks in, dekes, and Bernier denies him.
I don't think that puck was ever in the position that he wanted it. He tried to come with a level of speed, attack, pump fake, get the goaltender to open up, and that puck didn't stay with him in the shooting area. And now all he can do is just kind of force it to the goal.
6 foot 2 inch Peter Holland. Strangely, Phil Kessel has not made a shootout attempt this season.
Had a penalty shot early tonight, couldn't bury it.
Yes, he did. Here's Holland with speed toward Rask, uses the reach, and Rask denies him.
Well, after the initial goal by Santorelli, Rask has been strong. Holland tries to get that quick move to the forehand and then try to get it up over the block, but Rask right with him.
Seth Griffith scored on a dart against Detroit. He's got the game on his stick, and Bernier denies him.
Two big stops by Bernier with the game on the line. Certainly the Marchand chance, the easier of the two, but once again, Griffith goes in, tries to keep that puck in the shooting area and find an opening. Nothing doing.
Nazem Kadri. Down the slot, Deeks, and slides it under Rask.
Well, just enough place, or just enough room, I should say, to get this puck through the legs of Tuukka Rask. Pulls it back in. Rask has to respect when the guy goes back in and has leverage. You got to get it across. You got to get that leg extended, the glove extended. Nice goal underneath.
David Krejci must score to extend the shootout. He dinks but never gets off the shot. And Toronto gets the extra point. A bit of an anticlimactic finish to a great night of hockey at TD Garden.
Yeah, you feel bad because of the good push and the strong play by the Bruins in the second half of the hockey game. They got themselves down with some lack of execution for much of the second period, but they battled back. They had the game where they wanted to start the third, and they were the dominant team over the final 25 minutes, but just couldn't beat Bernier. They had two opportunities to end this thing in the shootout, but Toronto escapes with the extra point.
The Rangers beat Florida 5-2. The Bruins lose to Toronto 4-3 in a shootout. So the four-car pileup doesn't happen. There's a little bit of order, and the Bruins, Dale, are still on the wrong side of the playoff structure as the new year is about to begin.
Is this the time to tell you how much I hate the shootout? Coming up on Ace Ticket Bruins Overtime Live, the Maple Leafs, as you can see right there, happy with their goaltender Jonathan Bernier. They get the win in the shootout. Jack and Brick will talk with Bruins head coach Claude Julien. And a big day at the World Juniors. We've got highlights. Ace Ticket Bruins Overtime Live is coming right up.